In my Birds of Prey post-mortem, I said that it was still too early to call if Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey was an outright flop. Now, with the second weekend figures in, we can safely say it's getting there. By contrast, the decision to listen to the fans, redesign Sonic, and push the movie back is proving to be the best decision Paramount has made in modern history. Beyond merely making them bank on this one movie, that decision just might have given them a brand new, budding cinematic universe all of their own. In this editorial, I'll go through how successful Sonic was at the box office, why that success may translate into future revenue, and how Tom Rothman ensured Sony would see none of it. Then I'll briefly explore what the future might hold for Sonic and SEGA on film, before rounding out with a Birds of Prey update. If you like the content of this video, then leave a like and subscribe, and in the process make sure to indicate that you want notifications on all videos. We'd also greatly appreciate if existing subscribers will take a moment to check that you too are still subscribed, and that you also get notifications on all videos. And with that out of the way, let's dive in. To international audiences, like myself, this weekend was just like any other weekend, apart from the relatively recently imported Valentine's Day. To audiences in the US, however, this weekend encompassed not just Valentine's Day, but President's Day, both of which happened to converge this year. Where the box office is concerned, that means a 4-day weekend, which in turn should mean that the right movie can make a lot of money. Last time that happened, Deadpool struck gold, and there is some real Hollywood irony to that, which I'll get back to. For now though, that only goes to show how right a call it was to redo Sonic's design, and to delay the movie from its original November opening to that end. Not only did doing so completely alter the audience perception of the movie, it also directly led to what in retrospect proved to be a much better release date. Imagine for a moment that if, in response to the first trailer backlash, Paramount had said something along the lines of "Screw you, toxic fanboys. We know what the audience want," and then proceeded to release the movie with the initial design in November of 2019. I somehow doubt we would be seeing the kind of numbers we're seeing right now if they had. So what kind of numbers are we seeing? Well, Sonic came in just shy of 70 million across the 4-day weekend in North America, and just about 100 million worldwide. So the international numbers really aren't all that. For that reason, Detective Pikachu still beat it for the biggest opening for a video game movie overall. But make no mistake about it, this is still a very impressive take. The movie had a listed production budget of around 95 million, that the studio will admit to, which suggests that by the end of its run, Sonic will have made Paramount a healthy profit, and more importantly, set the stage and created the demand for sequels and more. This was a win Paramount needed badly right about now, so it could not have come at a better time for them. Rival studio Sony are probably none too pleased though, because this weekend proved that Tom Rothman dropped the ball again. Paramount aren't the only studio that has been struggling the last few years. Sony fits that bill too. One of the major reasons they chose Tom Rothman, of all people, to effectively run their film division was for his penchant for cutting costs and avoiding heavy losses. And to his credit, he has indeed done just that. One of the first things he did, for instance, was slash 15 million from the budget of Paul Feig's Ghostbusters. Good call. But there is a relation between risk and reward, and in cutting risk, some reward is going to go out the window in the process. The Sonic movie now in theaters, and by that I mean literally this exact one, was first being developed under Sony back when Amy Pascal was in charge. But by the time it was ready to be given the green light, Pascal had been ousted, and Rothman had been tasked with taking over. He evidently didn't get Sonic, and then proceeded to decide on Sony's behalf. Nah, we're good. He then sent the production company packing into turnaround, where luckily for them, they were swooped up by Paramount, who proceeded to greenlight the very movie that Rothman had rejected, the movie now in theaters. Here, there is a lot of irony and mirroring of past events that I'm surprised not more of the entertainment media has picked up on. I mentioned Deadpool, the previous movie to really make bank the last time Valentine's Day and President's Day occurred in the same weekend. That was a huge hit for Fox, but it was a long way there. You see, Deadpool was developed by co-production company Blur and director Tim Miller back when Tom Rothman was in charge of Fox. But Rothman didn't get Deadpool. That is to say, he liked the version of Deadpool whose mouth he had insisted be soon shut a few years earlier. But what the hell was this fourth wall-breaking weirdo drivel? Rothman didn't get that, and since the Deadpool rights effectively belonged to Fox, he didn't send them into any turnaround, he just blocked it. He blocked it for years and years, right up until he was fired. Then his replacement, Jim Giannopoulos, spurred by the positive public reaction to the leaked demo reel, greenlit it right away. The version of Deadpool that Jim Giannopoulos greenlit was the exact same one that Rothman rejected, and upon release, it proved to be a huge hit, and so was the sequel. There is no telling what kind of golden goose it could have continued to be for Fox, had they not been, acquired by Disney. Anyway, fast forward to Sonic. Unlike what was the case with Fox and Deadpool, Sony does not have a stranglehold on the rights to Sonic. So Rothman had to let co-production company Blur and their producer Tim Miller, both of Deadpool fame, take it with them into turnaround. By now, you all know that Paramount were the ones who picked it up. But who in Paramount made the call to do so? Want to guess? Jim Giannopoulos, the same guy who greenlit Deadpool after Rothman rejected it. That's right, he's at Paramount now. After this opening weekend, both he and Tim Miller must be laughing their asses off and high-fiving each other right about now. On a related matter, they're probably high-fiving each other over at Netflix too. Because by all accounts, Tom Rothman has sold Sony's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe movie to them. And there's now more evidence to suggest that whenever Rothman passes on an opportunity, someone else can make a fortune out of it. Speaking of fortunes, Sonic's good fortune goes beyond that one movie. I'm not going to spoil the movie for you. All I will say is that we are shown that there is a much larger story hinted at already in the intro sequence. And the post-credit scenes promise that that story is going to be told, so a larger world and sequels were always planned. And with this box office opening, those plans will, in all likelihood, be executed. But there is more to this than just Sonic sequels. Again, I'm surprised so few seem to have picked up on this, but even before the intro sequence, there was a Marvel-style SEGA logo. If the movie had flopped, it would have been a one-time thing, like Universal's Dark Universe, which Alex Kurtzman failed so miserably to kick off with The Mummy. But now that Sonic is a hit, you can expect to see that SEGA logo again. Not just on Sonic 2 and 3, but on Streets of Rage, on Shinobi, and if I get my wish, on Golden Axe. If I can't have Conan, at least give me Golden Axe. The squabbles between PlayStation fanboys and Xbox fanboys mean nothing to me, for I shall forever remain Team Mega Drive. These are exciting days then, because you see, Sega wants to enter the movie business, and with this, they got a dream start. And they weren't the only ones. Paramount, now under the newly re-merged Viacom-CBS Corporation, just got another budding cinematic universe in their playbox. In addition to whatever they're setting up with Hasbro. In other words, expect Shari Redstone to continue blocking each and every Star Trek pitch Bad Robot throws at her. Because Paramount doesn't need Star Trek right now. Wait and see their debt be cut in half or more by the end of this year. Sony must be kicking themselves right about now though, and if they aren't, they should be, because all that sweet SEGA cash that is going to fill Paramount coffers for years to come otherwise could have gone to them. Instead, they remain completely reliant on Marvel to stay afloat. I started this video talking about Harley Quinn, so let's round it out there as well. Going into its second weekend, they changed the title from Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn into just Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. Did that help? Not as such, no. No matter how much they changed the title, the movie is still a sequel to the reviled Suicide Squad. It is still fundamentally misandrist, and by all accounts, it is not all that appealing to either male or female audiences. It dropped 48% from last weekend, which would have been a good hold in almost any other weekend. But not this weekend, and not when coming off of such a low opening in the first place. Under those circumstances, that hold only drives in the point that there wasn't sufficient audience demand for the movie they made in the first place. Birds of Prey is not yet an outright flop, but it is slowly starting to move from disappointment into flop territory. What this and the last weekend showed, by way of Harley Quinn and Sonic the Hedgehog, is that the vote you, as a member of the movie-going public, cast with your wallet matters. Hollywood will eventually swing the way the audience leads with their support. On that note, I would also like to mention that our good friend Mr. H Reviews has teamed up with artist Paul Gerard to create a short film. A stylized original horror featuring a band of Vikings on an incursion into ancient Britain. Mr. H is a competent writer and highly visual storyteller. So do check out the link in the description for more information about the project and how you can support it. Finally, let me know what you thought about the Sonic movie and how excited you are about the possible SEGA Cinematic Universe in the comments.